my God. Yeah.
An onslaught of severe thunderstorms hammered New Jersey, unleashing catastrophic deluges that completely inundated towns and cities all along the I-95 corridor. In what felt like moments, streets were submerged. Storm drains, unable to cope, overflowed, bringing the region's entire transit network to a standstill as flash floods raged through neighborhoods, turning familiar roads into impassable, raging rivers.
The dumpster! The dumpster! Not the dumpster!
The downpour was relentless, with some areas getting slammed by as much as 7 inches of rain overnight. Whole intersections disappeared under a sea of murky brown water, the only sound being the distant wail of emergency sirens. Union County was hit especially hard, where towns were swallowed by the floodwaters in mere minutes, causing widespread panic among residents watching the water rise toward their property and vehicles. As phones across the state lit up with emergency alerts urging people to find higher ground immediately, a state of emergency was officially declared. Authorities issued stark warnings: stay out of basements and avoid any flooded roads, as rivers and creeks were already bursting their banks. Major arteries were shut down, including parts of US 22, I-78, and key exits on the New Jersey Turnpike. All traffic was either stopped in its tracks, rerouted, or forced to turn back as the water just kept climbing. The scene at the local level was one of utter chaos.
All right, I think we're good for you.
In places like Scotch Plains and Roselle Park, what were once quiet residential streets had become violent, rushing streams that consumed entire cars. Debris, including countless garbage cans, floated through the torrents. Water crashed into homes, garages, and businesses, ripping manhole covers from the ground and snapping small trees like twigs. For many residents, the disaster was unprecedented, widely considered the worst flooding to hit the area in years. The region's infrastructure was crippled. New Jersey Transit announced massive system-wide disruptions, with crippling delays affecting buses, light rail, and trains. In nearby New York City, subway stations transformed into waterfalls as runoff cascaded down stairwells, leaving platforms partially submerged. Travelers were left stranded, staring in shock as all service ground to a halt, with no clear end in sight. Airports were thrown into disarray as ground stops brought air travel to a standstill. Flights were delayed or outright cancelled, leaving runways at Newark, JFK, and LaGuardia glistening with standing water as crews struggled to keep terminals operational. Across Union County, dramatic water rescues became the new normal. First responders deployed boats, ropes, and even heavy machinery like front loaders to pull stranded drivers from the roofs and hoods of their submerged cars. The danger was immense, with some emergency personnel needing to be rescued themselves after their own vehicles were overcome by the fast-rising water. The situation grew so desperate that drivers resorted to parking their cars on any high ground they could find, including cemetery properties. As the crisis deepened, shelters opened their doors in North Plainfield and surrounding towns to house evacuees from inaccessible communities. Amazingly, despite the widespread destruction, authorities had not reported any fatalities. Power outages were also surprisingly limited, as high winds weren't a major component of the storm. But the danger was far from over. Meteorologists explained that a stalled weather front, supercharged with summer humidity, was to blame for the historic rainfall. 31. With the storm system lingering, flood watches remained in effect. 32. Key waterways like the Passaic and Saddle Rivers were approaching critical flood stages, and officials warned that conditions could deteriorate again with almost no warning.